welcome. Thank you all for coming. This is the first year that I can remember. I've been at the Mountaineer for 20 years. And this is the first year that I can remember having contested municipal races in each and every town in Haywood County, which is phenomenal. I mean, hats off to all of you for running, and hats off to all of you for being here. And it's just wonderful to have people willing to put your hat in the ring and run, and to be willing to discuss the issues. And we thought that deserved forums in every single community. So that's why we're doing it. The format tonight is each candidate will have a 2-minute opening remarks to say whatever you want. We will have 4 alderman questions. You'll have up to 90 seconds to respond to each question. And then we are offering a 3-minute closing time that you can talk about whatever you would like. You sum up some stuff you might have not been able to complete, talk about your campaign, what you would like to do. It's your choice. And so we will start with Janet Banks. And then we're going to go alphabetically, and then we'll kind of swap so that nobody has to always be first. So 2 minutes. Thank you.
What was the topic?
Oh, the topic is a 2-minute introduction.
Can everybody hear me? Good. My name is Janet Banks. I am running for re-election to the Town of Maggie Valley Board of Aldermen. I have served on the board for the last 2 years, and I'm very proud to have served on this board. When the new board came in December of 2013, we all sat down, we rolled up our sleeves, we went to work, because there were a lot of things that needed to be changed in Maggie Valley. And one of the hard things to do is when you have a board full of 5 people is to come to an agreement, because we all come from different perspectives. But we were able to do that, and that positive atmosphere reflected throughout the town of Maggie Valley. And all of a sudden we saw some real changes. We weren't on the front page anymore. We weren't squabbling. We were all getting along. People were happy to live in Maggie Valley. We saw some good economic and commercial and residential growth in the last 2 years. We welcomed 10 new restaurants, or 10 new small businesses, and 3 new restaurants. There are more on the drawing board. We've had 2 good years with the festival ground events, and the commercial aspects have done very well under our leadership. And the best part of all is the community has really come together with a really good, positive spirit. And that spirit has been recognized by naming Maggie Valley, our town, to the top 10 small town destinations in the entire United States. It really doesn't get any better than that. And I have been very proud to serve on this board, and I'm very proud to say I'm from Maggie Valley.
Thank you. Billy Case.
My name is Billy Case. I love Maggie Valley. I'm passionate about Maggie Valley, and I'm a native of Maggie Valley. I live on Campbell Creek, and I've served on the planning board now for over 6 years. I'm the current chairman of the planning board. I've also served on the Haywood County Planning Board, so I've had a lot of behind-the-scenes work, working on the ordinances and trying to make the things that we adhere to as far as town guides the best that they can be. But I'm also ready to move up into a leadership position, and I think that having served on a lot of other boards in Haywood County and knowing the problems of not only Maggie Valley but also Haywood County and a lot of the municipalities, that I can bring some leadership and cohesiveness to this board and help move Maggie forward as it has in the past.
Thank you. Nikki McCauley.
Hello, everyone. I'm new to this, so forgive me if I'm a little slow or not on top of things. I'm a widow, but I've lived in the area here for 10.5 years. We've been coming up to the area since '93, and I'm one of the many people who have fallen in love with Maggie Valley. I have 3 children, one that's married, one that's at ETSU, and one that's hopefully going to graduate and already pre-listed for the Marines. And I want this town to be something that they can be proud of, that they can come home to, and want to continue to live here. And I just want to see Maggie Valley prosper and share the growth, and not come to a point where we don't have the business, where I'd like to see the changing of all the for sale signs in the area. I would just like to see people come back to the area to where we were like 5-10 years ago, when everything was real good. I know we can't go back in time and make things like it was, but I do think there's so much in this area that can benefit so many people with just a little bit more marketing or getting the word out, put the city back on the map. I love Maggie Valley, and I'm proud to be here. I have a business down the road, so I can tell you I've seen good times, I've seen bad times, and all I want is for things to just get better and the future of Maggie just to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip White.
Good evening. I'm Philip White, candidate for re-election for Alderman of Maggie Valley. 4 years ago, when I was looking at my website, I campaigned on tax cuts, paying off debt, reducing sewer rates, new businesses, and transparency. In the first 2 years of our first 2 years of taking office, we gave a 3-cent tax cut on your property of revow. We paid off $308,000 worth of debt and resulted in $33,335 worth of savings. We've refinanced the police department, which will save $95,000 over the term of the loan. Transparency, we also campaigned on that, in open government, which is sometimes why we were on the front page, because that is, you can't get any more honest. Sometimes your dirty laundry does get out. And also with the transparency, we have a new town manager. We've eliminated the festival position. We've got a new open and honest policy. I hope that has kind of went out into the community, because I believe that has breeded some trust among the community, and the people are coming together more and more every day. But that comes with transparency, and that's what we're looking for every day. New businesses, the sewer rates, we reduced sewer rates. We gave them away in some cases. We do have expansion of several restaurants. We actually have a laundromat now, which some people tout it as trivial, but if you own a motel and have people asking to use your laundry, it's nice to have something inside our valley. So there's tiny increments of growth, and there's some larger growth. I mean, Wheels Through Time continues to grow, and everything is positive, and that's the way we need to keep it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Philip, you get the first question, and it's a pretty basic one. Why are you running for alderman, and what would you like to accomplish during your tenure?
I'm running for alderman for the same reasons I've basically just stated, to try to manage the town and not actually. Growth comes, it's how quick do you want it, how much money do you want to put at it. I'm more of mature, slow growth type of thing. Enhance businesses. I don't believe that fees of $300 per seat to open a restaurant, that's more of a showstopper than it is enticing people for businesses to come in here. So we have a lot of work still to do. We actually still have businesses that are coming in. I mean, it's coming back. This has been a very prosperous summer for most people. So I hope between even the promotion of Mountain Heritage, motorcycles, hiking, we have a hidden waterfall that nobody knows about. And when they advertise waterfalls, everything they advertise outside of Haywood County, we have a waterfall right inside our county. We have some parks and certain ways to fund it. Everything between the residentials and the taxpayers and the employees, it's a year-round avenue to go down and trying to manage them all at one time and be successful at it. I think I've done a good job, and I hope I've earned your vote for another 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikki?
Well, I want to run because I feel I can make a difference. I hear a lot of complaints. I hear good things and bad things. And I have nothing against the board that's on the committee right now. I think that they're doing a fine job. But I know that if I put my mind to it, I can make a difference and I can make things better, or I can help in certain ways, just to get the flow of people through here better, or if there's a problem, I can talk to anybody, or anybody can talk to me, and I can try to make that problem go away or correct it. I have always felt, for instance, if you don't vote, you really shouldn't complain. And if there's things that can be done right or corrected, I shouldn't be complaining. So I want to try to make a better difference and be the best I can do, whether it's sitting in the audience and participating or sitting up here and doing more. I just feel I'd like to just support a little different than what I've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Billy?
Why I'm running is I think that I'm well prepared to continue with the cohesiveness of the leadership that Maggie Valley has started to experience. I also think that I'm pretty well known at thinking outside the box, and I can bring some new ideas and new vision to the panel and different ways to do things that I've seen from serving on the other boards in Haywood County, including the Haywood County Planning Board and the Haywood Waterway Association and other boards that I've been on. Maggie Valley can no longer operate just as a single unity. They're going to have to cooperate with not only the other municipalities in Haywood County, but they're also going to have to cooperate with the other counties in western North Carolina and be a regional player to be successful. If I'm elected, I would have 3 initiatives. My number one would be to increase the safety in Maggie Valley. I think our traffic and our safety has grown to the point to where we really need to look at slowing down traffic and increasing the visibility of the pedestrian walks, the sidewalks and things. If we're going to be a close-knit town where people can get out and walk, it's got to be safe. We need to slow down cars, and we need to make it safe for pedestrians on the sidewalks and the crosswalks. The second thing I'd like to do would be to, I'm a fiscal conservative, so I'd like to stay within the budget and make sure that we keep the taxes where they need to be. I think we need to pay off debt and become debt-free in the town of Maggie Valley. And also, we need to fill the empty buildings and shops that are along here to increase the tax base.
Thank you. Janet?
I'm running for re-election because when I first ran 2 years ago, I had 2 of the 3 talents needed to be a good alderman for a board. I already had experience with multi-million-dollar budgets. I already had board experience serving on a national board for 10 years, of which 4 of those years I was nationally elected to serve on the board. But the one thing that I was missing was municipal government experience. I have worked very hard for the last 2 years to take advantage of the North Carolina School of Government as well as the North Carolina League of Municipalities in terms of attending their continuing education conferences in order to gain expertise in the area of municipal law. And it's not easy because municipal law is complicated. So I bring that talent to this election. The other thing that I am very well known for on our board, but also known nationally, is for building consensus. I am a person that wants to build consensus among different factions and come to agreements and make good decisions for the best interests of everyone. And the other reason I'm running is because I love Maggie Valley. I'm retired. I came here because Maggie Valley was listed in the top 10 places to retire in the United States, and I represent the residents' voice, and I'm very proud to do that.
Thank you. And Janet, you get to start with the second question. Much of Maggie Valley slows down during the winter months. Is that a good and restful thing? Or if not, how would you advocate changing that?
One of the things that this board started to do under the leadership of former Mayor Ron DeSimone was look at the possibilities of opening up the winter tourist season in Maggie Valley. As many of you know who live in Maggie Valley, we had our first Winterfest Smoky style event last year. It was very successful, especially for developing interest in young children and dog sledding, as well as other winter activities. This year, the board has approved that event to a 3-day event for next year. I would like to see Maggie Valley develop into a year-round tourist destination. Now, we need to do some things in our town to make it more attractive for visitors to come in the wintertime. We need to have more outdoor lighting. I would like to establish an incentive program for businesses to hang up outdoor lights even if they are closed during the wintertime. I'd like to work with the hotel motel owners in not closing their businesses during the wintertime, but staying open and form a partnership with the Catalucci with our ski area to make sure that those businesses generate a good economic revenue stream in the wintertime so that they can remain open. And this is a long-term goal, and it's not going to be accomplished overnight, but I think we can all work together on it.
Thank you. Billy?
More and more Maggie Valley is going to turn into a year-round destination, whether we would like it or not. The Catalucci ski slope brought in 110,000 people last year. A lot of those people are currently staying in hotels in Asheville and other places because when they ask what there is to do in Maggie Valley or even Waynesville, there are very few places to go out to eat or to go to a movie and those things, and that is slowly changing. But in order to keep people here, we're going to have to slowly open more and more year-round businesses, more year-round places to stay, more year-round restaurants, so that when they leave the ski slope in the late afternoon and they come through Maggie Valley, there's got to be a place for them to eat or they're going to go elsewhere. Harris Casino is open year-round. The Great Smoky Mountain National Park is pretty much open year-round except when we have adverse weather. So I think slowly over time we can create events to anchor those people in Maggie Valley, but we're going to have to, as a group, we're going to have to unite everybody into ensuring that we have at least a skeleton amount of stores and shops and businesses open, so that people will know if they come and stay in Maggie Valley in the wintertime that they'll have the amenities that they need to have an enjoyable stay.
Thank you. Nikki?
Well, I am one of the few businesses that do stay open year-round and every day of the year. And I have found that wintertime is really, it's just as good as the summer for us, especially that Friday and Saturday hit. And I'm hoping that the hotels and stuff see the same thing, and it just seems to get better. I think my last February and March were my best years yet in the whole 10 years that I've been down here. I would like to see more businesses open all year round. I think that I'd also like to see more of the business getting along. I know that there's a lot of aggravation out there and people not wishing good luck on to other people. And I know the more businesses that are successful, the more people come to an area. And I would like to see the lights of the winter like you guys had originally had planned. I know I'd be in a business, I would participate in that, and even that skating rink that kind of fell through, that would have been wonderful to see something like that for the kids. More things for families, more things to keep everyone in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Philip?
Well, year-round destination town has invested with TDA too. Everybody's noticed our beautiful Christmas lights that we have gotten started, and hopefully that was a little caveat and incentive for other people to do exactly what we're talking about, is somehow leave a light on, even if you're out of town. Excuse me. One thing the town can do better is when they scraping other people's roads. If you've ever seen 3 foot of snow piled in a commercial entrance, and the town goes by and leaves it alone, and there's one little lady out there with a shovel trying to clean her entrance. I mean, they could run through our entrances from time to time and help us out, even to stay open or come that bright morning. Depends how much it snows. We get 6 to 8 inches, we get people trapped. If we get over that, people are too scared to come. Between the skiing, there's some expansion capabilities that the town and even the government needs to help. And Cataloochee just needs to keep growing, and that's going to also help with our year-round winter tourism. And between the Economic Board and the TDA and all these meetings that everybody has, it's the one thing that seems to be missing, and I'm a tax conservative, but we have no indoor place to play. We have no economic stimulus for a convention center, even at its smallest level. It's kind of ridiculous. It's coming up on Christmas time. People, whether it's your vendors or other vendors, they're going elsewhere to bring their people. And it's kind of ridiculous that we don't even have the smallest venue. We have to go, hey, is Red Meat stop?
Yes.
Okay. And we don't even have the smallest venue. And I apologize for that.
Thank you. So everybody's answered that question. I'm sorry. Okay, that means question number 3, and you get to start, Philip. The interests of residential and business communities sometimes differ. For example, residents may often complain about noise levels from venues or the festival grounds or damage from elk, while businesses may see those as draws for tourists. How do you strike a balance between those two communities?
How do you?
You're on the hot seat.
That's the common courtesy that we all try to strive to go through. Our town manager, our chief of police, whether it's elk or, I believe they're going to be on the dinner table one day. We'll be paid to shoot them. They're not always going to be a beautiful thing. But I believe that's one reason why we reintroduced them. So I believe they're going all the way to Waynesville and on over through Plot Creek. They are multiplying. The noise, when we first got elected 4 years ago, we had an 8 o'clock noise ordinance. Some people might think that's okay. We increased it to 10 o'clock. It's acoustical to 11. And I thought that was striking a fair balance. We bought Parm Park. We developed a walkway. We've got another park. And that park is so they can get in the stream and go all the way down. That is something really, I know it's for our tourism too, but that is pretty much to keep beautifying our town. It is for the residents and the tourists alike. A lot of our tourists, our biggest critics are the ones that live in this town. A lot of our tourists seem to be happy with our beautiful Maggie Valley. So it's just always a conversation to be had and never quit talking about it, but also reach a solution. I mean, there are solutions out there, but the topic of the month is the elk.
Thank you. Nikki.
I again see it from both sides, being a resident in town and also having my business. And I know that my business sometimes meets that noise ordinance, so a lot of people aren't real happy with that. But I do know that music and stuff like that does bring people to town. I think, though, if I was on the board here, I would have to try to make both sides happy. I know it's almost an impossible task, but if there's something that we're going to present to the city, like to one of the businesses, for instance, the wonderful thing that they did for the growth, where they let the water just be waived for a while. If we could have had an equal amount done for the people, the residents. I know I have a septic tank, and I would have loved to have changed that over to city water. I guess I know it's really hard to make both sides happy, but I would try the best I could to look at both sides and get what I need done. I'm sorry. That yellow flake just goes.
It's better than the red one.
think it's in everybody's best interest to see Maggie Valley survive and thrive. And when I get out and talk to people in the communities of which I've walked around a lot, I don't know that I have heard anyone that didn't or wouldn't really like to spend their money and their time in Maggie Valley. And I think one of the nicest things that I've seen lately is the new Dollar General. I love being able to go to the Dollar General and not have to go all the way into town, or at least to Teagues even, to get a gallon of milk. So I would love to see more of those things. I'd love to see us have an urgent care. I'd love to see us have a hardware store, an auto parts store. But I think people would love to support Maggie Valley, and they would like to buy local and work local and eat local and invite their friends to stay locally. And I don't know that anyone I have spoken with would not like to see our town thrive and to support it in the best way that they can. I mean, you may have to go to a large town or municipality every once in a while to, to the airport or something. But I think the more of the small things we create here, the more you'll see people support the town of Maggie Valley. I'd love to see us take the south end of Moody Farm Road and create a water park, much like they have in Cherokee. I love taking the grandkids over there, and they can tube down the river, and you can cook out, and you can float down the river, and that's an ideal place for that. And that property is pretty much in a floodplain, and would be absolutely great to anchor the other end of Moody Farm Road to make a continuous loop park.
Thank you. Janet?
It's very difficult to balance both the residential and the commercial interests in the town. One of the best ways to do that is to be a good listener. And I've always prided myself on listening and being receptive to different ideas from different people. The other thing is the commercial can't exist without the residential, and the residential can't exist without the commercial. So what this board and I have tried to do is to look out for both interests. With our downtown master plan, for example, we have had numerous public gatherings where both the residents and the commercial businesses have come together and said, well, I like this or I like that. And we're trying to build a plan that satisfies everyone. One of the things that we did to really enhance the commercial interest in Maggie Valley was to redesign the festival grounds so that the taxpayers were not paying the large chunk for the festival grounds, which helped make the residents happy, but it also enhanced the town's ability to get out of the festival grounds business and work with promoters to bring in new and different events. And we've had 2 really good years at the festival grounds because of that. The other thing that we're really in tune with is we want to develop Maggie Valley into a green space because that's what the residents want. We've just purchased property for our second park, and we're looking at opening up walkways and bikeways around Jonathan Creek. And again, it takes a total effort to do this.
Thank you. And you get to start on the last question. You're almost done. Cataloochee Wilderness Resort, a residential and tourist community that's been talked about off the Jonathan Creek exit of I-40 for years, may initially be looking toward Maggie Valley for infrastructure. What are your thoughts on working with the proposed development if it should come to fruition?
Oh, I would welcome working with that development. We would like to be the town that is receptive to looking at all kinds of businesses in the area and welcoming new businesses. We know that this is the only opportunity other than convincing people to move here and retire that Maggie Valley can grow economically. Maggie Valley wants to be a player in the county and in the region. We have tremendous talent on board in our town. Mike Mahaffey, Director of Public Works, is an expert in developing plans for helping with infrastructure needs, as well as our town manager and our town planner. So we would put our heads together and do the best job possible to get that project moving and off the ground. In many instances, it's not possible to give taxpayer dollars to a private business coming in. But there are many other ways that towns can help by new businesses coming in, by leveraging their influence in the region, by knowing what resources to go to apply for money to get their projects done. And I want to encourage any business who wants to come into town to do this, and we would be in favor of working to develop that project.
Thank you. Billy?
I think the Cataloochee Wilderness Resort is, from what I've read in the papers, is a grandiose plan. I think it was originally slated to have 3 different golf courses and a ski slope, and I don't know how many homes and stores and shopping centers. So I would want to look at the Maggie Valley Master Plan and see how that Cataloochee Wilderness Resort would impact that master plan. I'm a big believer in long-term strategic planning. So I would want to know how that impacted us. I know that Maggie Valley has extended water down the entire length of Jonathan Creek. I don't know that it would handle the capacity of what they want for that resort. I know the sewer system has been upgraded, and we have spent a lot of money to upgrade that sewer system to handle a greater capacity, but I don't think it would handle what they're talking about. But I would want to see the impact on the roads and on the water and sewer system, and see how that fits with the strategic plan of Maggie Valley. I'm all for growth, but I'm also for smart growth. And I don't know that the entire plan could be implemented, but I certainly think a scaled down plan of that type would be welcomed at that intersection and would work very well for the people in this area.
Thank you. Nikki?
Okay, I believe Billy's correct. You'd have to look at a long-term, how it would affect us down the road. But on the other hand, I'm also really excited if something like that does happen. It will bring jobs to so many local people around the area, and then it would also keep people supported after it's completed. They'll have to have jobs. They'll have to have people working on that property. I welcome growth. I look forward to seeing things being open and being prosperous, and not seeing everybody work day to day to see if they're paying their bills or if they're able to pay their bills. I think that's a positive thing if it was to go through.
Thank you. Philip?
Well, it's always positive. That would be a voluntary annexation, and the sewer does run quite across the street. The sewer system would be big enough to handle them. If you've ever been to Wilderness Lodge or the Wolf Lodge, I'm assuming it's something similar to that, except we would have skiing also to offer and some ski lodges. So anything that's a positive impact on the region, the bonding that they would have to go through, being bona fide. I mean, you're talking about buying out people's property, so I don't know why we're talking about a dream with nothing really hardcore in front of us. But I'm for growth. I'm for positive. That's a huge economic impact. We've had dreams here before that die, and that's one thing people have come to Maggie Valley in the last many years with a dream, and they leave heavy-hearted, and that's one thing we want to change. And I think in the last 4 years, hopefully in the next 4 years, we can attempt those hearts and minds and keep people here. But I am for a positive impact, and don't think they're going to not come and ask the town for a lot of help if something like that came. And we do. We loan our maintenance department out and staffing and planning all that we can. So but we do tangible things like that. We haven't given away money yet or tax incentives for builders, which is something else to be talked about if they're actually willing to bring such a huge project to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. We've concluded our questions, and we're ready for our 3-minute closes. And we'll start again with you, Philip.
I think I've said it all.
Well, you don't have to close.
I hope I've earned the respect of the people and the voters by just being a conservative. I've represented property taxes and property rights and taxpayers at times. I've represented the town at times, so it's an open view. For year-round destination, for Christmas lights, we're working on cleaning our town. For all this at no tax increase at any way possible. But I love Maggie Valley, and I'm glad to be a part of it for the last 4 years, and I would just appreciate your vote. Thank you very much. And I do think I've said it all without going back and repeating myself, which is sometimes hard to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Although I may be the least likely one to be elected, I am one of the most likely ones to get the job done. I do have experience. I did work on Space Center for about 21 years, so I've done jobs, anything from working with the union. I've negotiated contracts. I've been a steward. So I know how it is to help the underdog. While I also know, while having Salty Dogs has helped me with a lot of business aspects and needs that need to be known. I will listen to any and all problems and welcome anyone to come to me with open arms. I would like to see more transparent representation of the city and make it a place that people want to visit and want to be proud to be a part of. A town that will flourish in a place, or a better word for it, a home where my children and their children want to be. Maggie Valley is so beautiful, and it's a place that should be shared and loved for future generations. And if I'm elected, I won't disappoint you, and I just thank you for y'all listening to me tonight.
Thank you. Billy?
I think when I look at elected officials, the one that I would choose would be someone who could take all of the input and be completely impartial and do what was best for everyone in the town of Maggie Valley and not for their own special interest. And I've seen some of that in the past, and you would not elect anyone any better that would just take the input and do what's best for everyone, not just one special group. So if I were elected, I would be glad to serve on that board and try to be cohesive, but I would ensure that whatever decisions we made were open and transparent and would be for the betterment of everyone and not just one group.
Thank you. Janet?
When I was elected 2 years ago, I never thought I would run again for another 4 years, because I figured if things didn't change within 2 years, then I would bow out and let someone else have my job. The problem with that scenario was that the board came together and we started doing so many good things for Maggie Valley, and the entire atmosphere changed. And then I realized that when you start changing a community for the better, sometimes it takes 3 to 5 years before you see the end point of all that effort. And then I decided I really wanted to hang around and find out what really happened for another 4 years. And I am very proud of the board and the town of Maggie Valley and all the improvements we made. We have a lot of things on the drawing board that are even going to make Maggie Valley better. I want to be a part of that. I've been a part of it in the past. I walked through the community, and one of my biggest projects has been my work with the Maggie Valley Community Garden, which has brought the community, the churches, and the community together to provide food for those people in the valley that don't have it. And I want to see those projects continue. I've been really blessed to be elected by the people of Maggie Valley, and I need your vote on November 3rd to continue doing all those good works. Thank you.
Well, thank you, each and every one. You did a wonderful job. Let's give them a hand. And we'll take just a brief intermission while we reorganize and get the mayor candidates up here. Welcome back to the second half of our forum in Maggie Valley. On behalf of the Madam Mayor, we thank you all for coming. Again, I'm Vicki Hyatt, the editor of Mountaineer Publishing, and we're delighted to have this opportunity to welcome our mayoral candidates in Maggie Valley. And we'll follow the same format as before, allow every candidate to have a brief 2-minute introduction, and then we'll go into the questions, which will have 90-second responses and a 3-minute close. We'll start alphabetically with Jesse Ketchum.
Good afternoon. My name's Jesse Ketchum. I've been a resident of Maggie Valley for 26 years. Ooh, got me off course. 26 years. I've been involved with coming to the council meetings for years to see what's been going on. I volunteer for a lot of things. I volunteer Open Door, Pathways. I teach altar service to kids at church. So I'm involved. Although I retired from repairing x-ray machines for 45 years. And that's a challenge working with doctors. So it will be the same challenge working with the city. I have a lot of things. One of the reasons I'm running is I like to see more transparency with the city, more involvement with the public. The public needs to be more involved. This is your city or your town. So we need to be more involved with it. And I lost my train of thought, so thank you.
My name is Justin Phillips. I've been in Maggie Valley for six years now. I've been coming here since I was a kid. I think it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived. I've experienced Asheville for a little while in my early 20s. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up on a large piece of property on the rural west side of Jacksonville. Growing up, we had an IGA grocery store, and from what I hear, you guys did too. I'd like to see Maggie Valley prosper. I hear 2008 killed us, and that's probably true. We can't be victims of 2008 anymore. We're growing. It's looking good. We need to continue doing what we're doing. The truth of the matter is we probably need to step it up just a little bit. There's no need to waste money. We need to make every dollar count. And if we do that, we can cut your taxes. There's a few things we can do that wouldn't cost a dime. I'd like to see those things done. It wouldn't be a hard thing to make the residents and the businesses happy. They're mutually beneficial, believe it or not. And on November 3rd, I'd like to see you guys come out and allow me to be your next mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Lynn.
Hi, my name is Sarah Lynn Price. I'm a native of Maggie Valley. I have been here for a long time. And I grew up in Maggie Valley. I went to work for the Haywood County Sheriff's Department. I worked there for 11 years. And before I came to Maggie, and I finished my 30-year career in law enforcement with the town of Maggie Valley. The last 14 and a half years was the chief of police. And since I retired, I have been on the board of aldermen with the town of Maggie for 10 years. So I have almost 40 years experience in local government and probably about 35 years working on the budget, on large budgets. So one thing about being a native of Maggie Valley is I don't think anybody could love Maggie Valley more than I do. And that's why I'd like to be your mayor.
Thank you. And we'll start with you for the first question. What type of economic development efforts will you help lead in Maggie if you're elected, and how would you go about that process?
Okay, I mean, we have an economic development board in the county. Also, one thing about Maggie Valley is the economic development that's here is small businesses. And that is kind of what we cater to. I would be for helping with economic development on small businesses. Some of the things that we've done is that we have gone on the website and put down things that you have to do to open a business, and things that you have to go through to open a business. And I would continue that. And also the personnel that we have working, the town manager, the planner, and Mike Mahaffey that's with sewer. We try to help them where they can be helpful to anyone who wants to come into Maggie Valley.
Thank you. Justin?
What would I do for economic development?
Yeah, the question, I'm sorry. What type of economic development efforts would you help lead in Maggie Valley if elected, and how would you go about that process?
I think the first thing we need to do is explore eco-tourism. It's a huge booming industry. We see a lot of it from time to time. We see Avenue whitewater rafting and business open. We need to expand. Well, let's put it this way. We've got a lot of empty buildings. Some of them are slowly starting to fill up. I'd like to see them all filled up. I'd like to see all the empty spots filled up. I'd like to see our homes, the homes we have for sale now. I'd like to see those property values go up. What can I do? I can make it easy, because business isn't rocket science. We're all involved in business in one way, shape, or form. We can streamline it. I'd like to see the planning board come back to us and streamline the ordinances so that they're not ambiguous. When I opened my business, I wasn't sure exactly what I needed to do, and Nathan was kind enough to help me out. We can make it easy, and we can make it productive, and it won't take much.
Thank you. Jesse?
Well, Mr. Justin just took some words out of my mouth on the planning board, because the planning board needs to relax. They have strange rules. They need to work more with the business, different businesses coming in, and give them a chance to grow, not make them fight to become a part of this business. Just like the antique shop down below, outside the city limits, but it's within the 1 mile judgment. They made them jump through the hoops just for a roof line. Get a little bit more lenient to entice more people to come in here, and then you get more growth. You can get some big business in here, right? Somebody mentioned about children. We need a place for children. We just need to relax some of the areas and then pursue the different businesses to come in and get more involved. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll start with you. Question number 2, the town has a new ordinance for cleaning up private property. As mayor, would you propose any changes to that ordinance?
Would you read that again?
The town has a new ordinance for cleaning up private property. As mayor, would you propose any changes to that ordinance?
Enforce it. I've been told they've been trying to send letters out to different properties last year to clean up the properties, different areas. It has not been done. And the answer I asked about it, and the answer I got was, oh, they've been living here a long time. What makes them any difference than new people? We all should be equal and keep your property clean. For an instance, in the Maggie Valley, the corner of Summit and 19 took me 3 years to get the grass cut because it belonged to a politician, Charles Taylor. Oh, you can't bother him, so they make it hard on us. And the only way I got it cleaned up was call Channel 13, and it has been clean ever since. And they don't enforce the ordinances. They need to be enforced. They say 30 days. Well, 30 days, then do what you say you're going to do. Thank you.
Justin?
We can put some teeth in it. I think that's the first thing we should do, is put some teeth in the ordinances. Everybody knows what looks good and what looks bad, I hope. We've done a good job so far. I see a lot of rust buckets moved. I've seen a lot of people take the initiative to go out and clean up. As far as the town, we can't legislate what's pretty and what's attractive, but what we can do is put teeth in what we've already got. If you don't want to clean up your property, I think that we can levy some stuff. We can make it rather difficult for you to not mow your grass, to put a toilet bowl with a nice set of flowers outside. We can make that rather difficult, and we're going to get you to clean it up. What are the teeth? I'm not sure what we can. What I'm a private property guy. I mean, I really am. I'm a private property guy. I mean, I think Mr. Ketchum should be able to do whatever he wants to do with his property. I think I should be able to do whatever I want to do with my property. But the truth of the matter is, what I do with my property benefits and takes away from what other folks do with their property. Put some teeth in the ordinances, and let's see it get taken care of.
Sarah Lynn.
Okay, yes, we have been working on the cleanup, and we sent out 170 something letters. Some people have cleaned up and some people haven't. We have not said anybody would not have to, the letter was sent to. There is a progress in laws and that you have to go through. So we are in the process of doing that, and hopefully we'll have it done before long.
Okay, thank you. Let's just stay down there with you. There have been numerous proposals put forward to advance the Maggie Valley corridor, but none have yet gained traction. Why would you be the one to successfully lead such an effort?
Why would I be the one that,
To successfully lead such an effort.
why would I be the one?
Yeah.
Well, the downtown master plan that we're working on right now, one reason that I like it so well is the company the engineers that we have working on it we've had several public meetings, and the public meetings, they are asking the public to come and give their opinion. They are wanting your opinion on what you want your valley to look like, and that's the kind of plan that I want for us all to be able to come together and have is the plan that we all want, not one that's just difficult to enforce.
Thank you. Justin.
Would you mind repeating that? I know I'm supposed to advance something.
That's all right. There have been numerous proposals put forward to advance a Maggie Valley corridor, but none have really gained traction. Why would you be the one to successfully lead such an effort?
There have been a number of consultants hired. There's been a number of ideas tossed back and forth. There's also a number of problems. Some of those problems are most of the property is private. What can we do to advance it, to get it off its feet and move it forward? I think it's a pretty simple fix. We need to find a developer. Because as a private property owner, you can't come in as a town and tell me I need to sell it to somebody else. But what we can do is find a piece of property and shop it around. My God, the town's full of real estate tycoons and all kinds of other real estate moguls. Certainly they could find us somebody who would like to come in here and develop a piece of property. The next step is to set some stipulations aside. Say, you need to have the property look in certain ways. That's not really all that difficult. Homeowner associations do it. We've done it as a town. We put Dollar General through the ringer. We could step back just a little bit, find the right developer, and come in and build it up.
Thanks. Jesse?
Okay. On the development, I've been hearing, they were talking about putting a roundabout in the middle of town and make a town center. The problem is the cost. Maggie Valley should have been done, this should have been a project 30 years ago. The cost is so prohibitive in doing something like that, and like he said, private property. How you gonna do it? Somebody mentioned underground wiring. Lord have mercy, that's gonna cost us a lot of money. And then somebody said, well, where's the money coming from? Oh, we'll get it. Well, meaning us. I think what we need to do is, like you said, get some of the business to dress up the front of their business, make it pleasant. We will never be a Main Street like Brevard, Waynesville. It'll never happen because we're too stretched out. But we can do a good job in presenting our whole section. It just needs a lot of work to be done and a lot of cooperation of businesses to dress their place up. Now, one of the good places that just changed the sign was Joey's. Got a nice sign put out there. That's another story. We just need to work on it and not try to do it all in one night and not pay $25,000 for a survey from an engineering firm, which is ripping us off. Thank you.
Thank you. You get the next question. Motorcycles are a major component of Maggie Valley's economy. Can or should the town work more closely with this segment of tourism?
Yeah, because motorcycles now are doctors, lawyers, business people. They bring money to Maggie Valley. Only thing is, I'd like to see a little bit quite of Harleys. Because where I live, the sound goes up the mountain. But we need them, and they need to, we need their money. They bring a lot of money into the valley, a lot of motels. You see them full. All the motels are full. Just like the car show. I don't know what was going on last weekend, but every motel had no vacancy signs out. That's what we need. Make it. So I'm all for the motorcycles and other tours.
Thank you. Justin?
What was the question? Should we work with motorcycles?
More closely with this segment of the tourism economy.
I don't know that we should work more closely with that segment in particular. I think we need to work closely with every segment. I think it would be an exercise in futility if we work with just one segment. I'd like to see a lot more people come to town. I don't care if it's bikers or families. As a business owner, I'll be honest with you. When I see a motorcycle pull up, I know that motorcycle is going to spend, let's say, $5 in my coffee shop. If I see 5 motorcycles, that's $25. If I see a van pull up, loaded down with kids, that's a big ticket. That's a much bigger ticket. So I don't know if we should work more closely with motorcycles. I just don't see that being something that I would like to see on any agenda anytime soon. I certainly wouldn't say don't come to town. I love having them here. They bring money. We need it.
Yeah,
They do. Yeah, you're exactly right. Motorcycles ain't cheap, and the doctors and lawyers taking the weekend trips up here, I like the money. I don't like seeing them wearing earplugs when I pull up to the red light and I got my window down, but nevertheless.
Thank you. Sarah Lynn?
Personally, I don't think that we should work more closely with them. Kind of like Justin, I think that we should work with all aspects of different people coming to the valley. We're not in the festival business anymore, but I still feel like that any tourists that come help the economy here.
Okay, the last question, we'll start with you. It's again on Cataloochee Wilderness Resort. If ever developed, has the potential to change the dynamics of the Haywood economy. How do you think Maggie Valley can best position itself to benefit from the additional traffic and residents it could bring?
I'm sorry. Would you repeat that last part? That
How do you think Maggie Valley can best position itself to benefit from the additional traffic and residents it could bring?
okay? I mean, it would be a great asset to not only Maggie Valley but Hayden County, especially it being located on Johnson Creek. I mean, I think that we could prepare for the future, not only if that doesn't happen, but we're preparing for the future if something else does happen. We have expanded the sewer system. That development, the sewer system would not be able to handle, which we could work with them to accommodate and work out where they could come. I think that if we work together, I think anything that we do, we need to work together, because without working together, we're not going to go anywhere.
Thank you. Justin?
Funny, I was just having this conversation outside. The simple fact is, if there's a large development over there, if there's motels, a movie theater, a couple of golf courses, Maggie Valley ceases to exist as it is now. There's a few things that we need to do right at this very moment. I mean, within the next 12 months. We need to step our game up. If this is actually going to happen, and I think based on our previous experience, it may just be a dream. But there is a possibility they could open and be a lot smaller version of what they publicize on television and the newspaper. Nevertheless, we've got to step our game up here. And to be quite honest with you, if they open a facility like that on Johnson Creek, I'll be opening a second location. I would love to see that. I really would. But I would hate to see people leave that facility, because it's basically what it is, come back down here to SoCo and make a left and not a right. We've got to have something here to attract them, because they can get to the national park through Gatlinburg if they want to. They can do 100 other things. They can come through here and pass us up going to the casino. We've got to do some stuff. We've got to exercise some strategic planning if that's going to be a reality. And the truth of the matter is, the town will be the first to know, because we're going to need our sewer and water. But we can't wait till the last minute.
Thank you. Jesse?
Okay. As soon as they get word that it's actually going to happen, rather than in planning stages, Maggie Valley needs to jump like on the bandwagon and start doing things and make the city available. A good example, if you're not ready for it, is Mooresville, North Carolina. NASCAR moved in to Mooresville. That is the biggest traffic problem you ever want to see. So we need to be prepared ahead of time. Get our police department ready, get our planning streets set up. Like you say, not make just one turn to come in, and we should be able to make another way to come into Maggie Valley, so you could come in and make it. But if you're not careful, you'll be like other cities that don't plan for it. So you need to get your act together and plan ahead of time. Thank you.
Okay, that's it for the questions. Time to make your closing statements. Touch on anything else that we haven't covered already. Make your pitches. And we'll start with you, Jesse.
Okay? If I'm elected, some of the things that I would like to see changed is the agenda meetings are held in the mornings. We need to have the council have the agenda when they do the regular meetings, so you can hear the discussions. The public should be able to have a comment during the agenda meetings to get your input. No more than 2 minutes, as long as it's civil. But instead of having the agenda meeting in the mornings back in this room here and nobody here, it's open but nobody shows up. So it needs to be out in the open. And that way you'll know more what's going on. Commercial and residents should be treated equally. It should not be any in one way or the other. We all should be equal here. We need to eliminate the $5 wheel vehicle tax that was slipped in. Nobody knew about it. 2 people was at the meeting, and nobody had any say so. Here is the city council is a private business that nobody. It's a secret business. Nobody's allowed to hear what's going on. So if there's a meeting, you need to show up, and that way you know people knows what's going on in the cities. We need a plan for people, parents coming in with children. What is it to do for children? We need to open the festival grounds up if there's no event going on. And let the kids have a soccer field over there. They need to take the playground equipment that's back here in the corner, over the back corner over there, let them play. If there's a festival going, an event going on, close it to the public. We're paying for it, so we should be able to use it. It's not a city business. That's what it is now, city business. Nobody else can use it. And make people proud to come to Maggie Valley. When we first moved in this area, back in 1990, my wife's cousin come from Rhode Island. He said, I'm going to go to Maggie Valley. Where's that? At the time we was living in Asheville when we first moved here, first week. Yes, ma'am. And now we need to make it known on the public, for the country. We need to be proud to be Maggie Valley. Thank you. Are you sure?
And now you made me nervous. So it's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Not 30?
Not 30, 3 minutes.
I saved the best for last. Maggie Valley is a beautiful town. We're 30 minutes from everywhere you want to be in Western North Carolina. There's so many beautiful things we can do with the town with very little money. We've got real problems. And they're not impact fees on restaurants, although I think that's heinous. I don't know why anybody would come to Maggie Valley and pay $30,000 to open a restaurant. They just give it to the town. I'd go someplace else. I'd go in the county if I was going to open a restaurant and had 100 seats in there. Our police department has been investigated 2 times in as many years. I'm not exactly sure why. I'd like to see some transparency in that. We have a state law that prohibits you guys from going down and seeing personnel files of our police officers. A police officer could be fired here for really bad things and go to Greensboro and get another job and jeopardize those people in Greensboro. As mayor, I'd be talking to some state representatives finding out, can we repeal that law? Can we find some compromise where we don't jeopardize the security of our good officers? But we need to know what's going on when bad things happen. I know that's not touchy-feely. I know that doesn't make everybody feel good, but 2 years, we've been investigated by the state 2 times in as many years. I know Vicky's looking into it. We have a code of ethics. Every municipality has one. I'd see to it that we lived up to that code of ethics. The board has voted several times every year, well, several times, I don't know, once a year, to give money to charity. I'm a pretty charitable guy. If this was a meeting, I'd vote no to give money, taxpayer money to charity. But I'd take my hat and I'd pass it around the room. It's your money. It's not mine, and it doesn't belong to the board. It's your money. We can't give $4,000 to a charity, or a little bit to a couple charities, totally $4,000, and then vote to add a $5 tax to your vehicle to offset something that, the town simply didn't need to do that, and all of it forgot they did that. We've got some real problems. They're not as big as the problems in Charlotte. They're not as big as the problems in Gatlinburg, but we've got some problems. The truth of the matter is they're all simple fixes. They're all very simple fixes. I'd like your vote. Thank you. I'm short and sweet. I was watching you.
Well, I'll address the $5 vehicle tax. One thing is the business license the money that came from the business license was taken away this year. So the $5 vehicle tax actually goes for helping repave roads and patch holes on roads that are not in the town. That was one reason that was done. As far as the officers that are investigated, if anybody does a background check, then they're going to know if there is something wrong that an officer has been fired for. And if they don't do a background check, then they're not going to know it. And I hope that everybody in any business would do a background check. But with all that being said, I just want to say that I feel like in the last couple of years we've done a good job. We've come a long ways, and we have learned to agree to disagree. And with all that being said, I want you to know that I would like to have your vote on November the 3rd. I hope that you will write me in as mayor. Thank you.
Thank you all for a very good job.
I'll say one thing. Go vote.